Hello and welcome to Theme Park History, the channel for everything to do with theme parks, old and new, big and small. In today's episode, we careen through icy Himalayan peaks and explore Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, a steel roller coaster that opened at Disney's Animal Kingdom on April 7, 2006. This attraction was suggested by all these believers of the abominable snowman, so thank you to everyone for the comments. As always, if there's an attraction you would like us to cover in future videos, leave a comment down below. You never know, your suggestion might be next month's video. Somewhat of a spiritual successor to Disneyland's Matterhorn bobsleds, Expedition Everest is not only one of the most intense and popular attractions at Animal Kingdom, but also at Walt Disney World, reaching a top speed of 50 miles per hour, an 80-foot drop, and the first Disney coaster to propel guests backwards and forwards. The attraction combines a heart-racing ride experience with an immersive story, amazing theming, and the largest, most complex animatronic figure ever built by Walt Disney Imagineering. Expedition Everest is one of the most ambitious attractions ever created by Disney, allowing guests to take a journey through the Himalayas and come face to face with the guardian of the Forbidden Mountain. In order to properly tell the legend of the ancient guardian of the mountain, we'll need to discuss the kingdom that is dedicated to animals, real, ancient, and imagined. On June 21st, 1995, Disney announced a fourth theme park would join Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Disney MGM Studios. Known as Disney's Animal Kingdom, the park would be a combination of a live land animal park with thrill rides along with a focus on animals from the past and imagined, with areas of the park dedicated to dinosaurs and mythical creatures such as dragons and unicorns. As we've discussed in our Countdown to Extinction video, due to the higher than expected cost of the upkeep and care of the animals at the park, it was decided in order to stay within the park's budget that one of the two lands, Dino Land USA or Beastly Kingdom, would be built first, with the other eventually being an expansion of the park once Animal Kingdom had proven to be a popular hit with guests. The decision was made to build Dino Land USA first, and Beastly Kingdom would be part of the Phase 2 expansion of the park. Disney's Animal Kingdom would officially open on April 22, 1998. While the park was a hit with guests when it opened, it would see a decline in attendance levels in the following years, from 8.6 million visitors in 1998 to 7.3 million in 2003. Searching for a way to draw people to the park, Disney would look into finally bringing the Beastly Kingdom concept to life. However, there was one problem. After it was decided to build Dino Land USA first, most of the creative team behind Beastly Kingdom would leave the company, with Universal Creative hiring them to turn the Beastly Kingdom concept into the Lost Continent land at Universal's Islands of Adventure theme park, which opened 1 year after Animal Kingdom in 1999. Not wanting to copy Universal, the Beastly Kingdom concept was once again scrapped, forcing Disney to work on a new concept to bring thrills and imagined creatures to the park. On April 22, 2003, the 5th anniversary of the opening of Disney's Animal Kingdom, it was announced that a brand new attraction would be coming to the park in 2006, Expedition Everest. Taking inspiration from the Matterhorn in Disneyland, it was decided the attraction would be a roller coaster set in the Himalayan mountains. Instead of focusing on dragons and unicorns, the attraction would put a spotlight on another imagined creature, the Yeti. An ape-like creature taller than the average human that is said to inhabit the Himalayan region of East Asia. Imagineer Joe Rohde, who was the lead designer of Disney's Animal Kingdom, would once again take the lead for the development and construction of the attraction. For the planning and design of the attraction, Rohde and a team of Disney Imagineers traveled to the Himalayan region of Asia, not only to gather information about Mount Everest, but also about the people who inhabit the region. Rohde and his team would bring back more than 8,000 props from their journey, with many of them now on display in the attraction's queue. Construction of the attraction would be a difficult task for Imagineers, as it's made up of 3 different foundations: the track, the mountain, and the Yeti, which are each supported separately. 24 different designs of the attraction were created before one was finally settled on. After the final design was decided on, a 6-foot model was created which was then uploaded to a computer. Imagineers could tinker with the track design on the computer before construction on the track itself began. This would help cut down the design time of the attraction from an average of 3 years to just 18 months. The steel track for the attraction is 4,424 feet long, and the lift is 108 18 feet high. For the construction of the ride track, over 25,000 pieces of steel were used, which together weighed 1,800 tons. Dutch amusement ride manufacturer Vekoma would be brought in to install the track system. Vekoma and Disney would work in conjunction to create a brand new track system never seen before. For the first time, the rails would be visible on the outside of the track as opposed to inside, giving the ride an overall smoother feel. The attraction would also be the first for Disney to have its trains travel both forwards and backwards during the same ride, which is accomplished through two sets of track switches, one before the rear segment and one after. Expedition Everest would be Disney's 18th mountain-themed attraction. The mountain is not an actual model of Mount Everest, but of the Forbidden Mountain guarded by the Yeti in the story created for the attraction. Everest is actually represented by the background peak on the far right, which is made to seem far in the distance due to forced perspective. To create the mountain, 18.7 million pounds of concrete were used. 38 miles of rebar were used to construct the outer layer of the mountain, with 32,000 bags of concrete covering the rebar. Before the cement dried, large sheets of aluminum foil were pressed into it to give the mountainsides a jagged, realistic texture. Over 2,000 gallons of paint in different shades were used, including 4 shades to replicate snow. The mountain stands at 199.5 feet tall, making it the tallest attraction at Walt Disney World, beating the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror by a mere 6 inches. Keeping the mountain under 200 feet was done on purpose in order to comply with the legal adherence that any structure 200 feet or more must include a blinking red light to signal low-flying aircrafts, which Disney thought would take away from the overall ride experience. The Yeti animatronic stands at 25 feet tall. Its skin measures 1,000 square feet and its fur weighs over 6,000 pounds, which is held in place by 1,000 snaps and 250 zippers. The Yeti is controlled by 19 actuators, using 3,000 psi of hydraulic thrust to create the lifelike movement. When in A mode, its full mode of operation, the Yeti can move 5 feet horizontally, 2 feet vertically, and produce more thrust than a 747 jet airliner.
This Yeti is the single biggest dynamic figure that has ever been built. There is nothing that is this big, that moves this fast in the world of animation. It's really pretty cool.
To promote the opening of the attraction, Disney staged a publicity stunt on February 15, 2006, called Everest in the City, in New York City's Times Square. During the event, large billboards that looked like the Himalayan mountains were draped over the sides of several buildings, which served as the backdrop for acrobatics and gravity-defying feats exhibited by performers from the dance company Project Bandaloop. Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, would officially open on April 7, 2006. With a price tag of $100 million, the attraction is recognized by Guinness World Records as the most expensive roller coaster ever built.
In the shadows of Mount Everest, a train awaits. But be warned, those attempting to reach the summit must face him.
Expedition Everest, a chilling new ride at Disney's Animal Kingdom Park.
Located in the Asia section of the park, guests entered the attraction through the village of Zircozong in the fictional kingdom of Anandapur, located at the base of the Himalayas. Many of the buildings in the village have been repurposed by businesses that send trekkers on various expeditions throughout the Himalayas. In the early years, the Royal Anandapur Tea Company shipped its tea by train from Zircozong through the Forbidden Mountain Pass, but the railroad was closed after a series of mysterious accidents, rumored to be from the hand of the Yeti. Despite the accidents and local opposition, the Himalayan Escapes Tours and Expeditions Company has partially refurbished the railway, now offering a one-of-a-kind tour called Expedition Everest, which is transportation for adventurers to the base camp at Mount Everest. Guests make their way through the queue, where they pass through the Himalayan Escapes booking office, the Yeti Mandir, which is a small temple that has been dedicated to the Yeti as a sign of respect. Tashi's trekking Kayak and Toboggan Shop, and the Yeti Museum, which contains artifacts and information on the Yeti, as well as a molding of the Yeti's footprint. After exiting the museum, guests enter the loading station and board the 6-car steam train. Once guests have boarded the train, it pulls out of the station and their expedition begins. The train climbs a small hill to a short drop before reaching a 118-foot lift hill that carries the guests into the mountain. On their ascension of the mountain, guests pass through a ransacked temple with murals of the Yeti, warning them that the mountain is his territory. After reaching the top of the incline, guests travel through the mountain's crest before curving downhill into a cavern. When the train emerges out of the cavern, it has to stop suddenly due to the track being torn apart, presumably by the Yeti. With the train now stopped dead in its tracks, guests hear the sound of the Yeti's roar, realizing they're in danger. Suddenly, the train's brakes give out and it rolls backwards at full speed along a new route that spirals down through the mountain. The train is eventually able to stop somewhere deep in the mountain, where guests see the shadow of the Yeti as he rips up more train tracks. As the shadow moves away, the train rolls forward out of the mountain, exits the cave, and goes down an 80-foot drop, before traveling through a forest and back into another cave where the roars of the Yeti can be heard. After passing through this cave, guests emerge on the opposite side of the mountain. Here, the train passes through another forest before entering a dark cavern. On a perch above the track, guests finally come face to face with the 25-foot tall Yeti, who reaches out to grab them. After barely making it out of the cave, the train arrives back at the station. Guests exit the attraction and head into the Zerkazong Bazaar, where merchandise of the attraction is sold. The 2-minute, 50-second attraction was an instant hit with guests, as many praised the roller coaster's track layout and intensity, the attraction's ambient storytelling, and the overall exquisite attention to detail throughout. Expedition Everest would go on to win the Theme Park Insider Award for World's Best New Theme Park Attraction in 2006, along with ranking second as the Best New Ride for 2006 in the Golden Ticket Awards. While Expedition Everest would be a major draw for Animal Kingdom when it opened in 2006, the attraction would begin to run into trouble only a few months into operation. It was discovered by Disney the Yeti figure had created a crack in the support structure, reportedly due to the animatronic's strength whenever it was operating in A mode, which is when the Yeti has its full range of motion. Worried the animatronic would cause catastrophic damage to the structure of the attraction, the Yeti would now instead operate in B mode, in which all movement is turned off and a strobe effect is used to give the illusion of movement. Since the change, the B mode Yeti has been given the nickname Disco Yeti by many in the Disney community. After shortly changing over to B mode, many fans of the attraction believed the problems with the Yeti would be eventually fixed and the animatronic would once again be back in all its terrifying glory. This hasn't been the case, as the Yeti has been frozen in time for over a decade, with no sign of being repaired anytime soon. Rumors have varied over the years, from the Yeti can be easily fixed but Disney doesn't want to spend the money, to the whole mountain would need to be reopened in order to properly fix the Yeti. At the 2013 D23 Expo, Joe Rohde was asked about the state of the Yeti, in which he responded Disney is looking into a way to fix the animatronic.
You have to understand, it's a giant, complicated machine sitting on top of like a 46-foot tall tower in the middle of a finished building. Step. It's really hard to fix, but I will fix the Yeti someday, I swear.
Rohde would once again confirm work was being done on the Disco Yeti via Twitter on July 7, 2018. As of February 2019, there has been no announcements of Expedition Everest closing in order to repair the Yeti. Only time will tell if Disney is willing to finally pull the trigger, as this would be the attraction's first major refurbishment since opening. For over a decade, Expedition Everest has been one of the signature attractions at Disney's Animal Kingdom. While fans may be disappointed the Yeti no longer functions as it first did when the attraction opened, the most expensive roller coaster ever built is still one of the most thrilling experiences at a Disney park. Thanks to the attraction's story and immersive atmosphere, guests should book their trip to Expedition Everest for an unforgettable, one-of-a-kind achievement in Disney Imagineering. So that is the theme park history of Expedition Everest. As always, thank you for watching the video and supporting the channel. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if there's any attraction you want us to cover in a future video, leave a comment down below. Once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, who wants a snow cone?
No, 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 don't worry. It's Lemon.